We have an amazing episode headed your way with someone I was grateful to be connected with from our friend, Evan Pulliam. You may recognize today's guest from his amazingly valuable episode on a mental health break, spoke from the heart and on his experiences, which is also why he's here today with his part in the book, Voices Over Cancer. Welcome back to Writing with Authors. My name is Vincent A. Lancy, and today, as this little preview has given you some excitement, I hope, we have Juan Nunez joining the show. He's an incredible guy, and I'm grateful he's on this show. So allow me to now bring him on. Juan, thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you so much, Vincent. It's a pleasure to be back. Thankfully that you called me back and wanted me back on the show. A little bit different this time, but I'm grateful to be here. Blessed to be here today, man. To be able to speak with you on this topic.
You're going to shed a lot of great light, and your story is one of resiliency and perseverance and nonstop fighting while making a difference for others. I think that's why you wanted to be a part of this book. Please tell our audience what we have going on.
So I was invited by Summit Quest, which is a nonprofit organization, and they help people that's recently been diagnosed with cancer to kind of get them out there and just do different things, and this was a little bit before COVID hit, and I was invited, and then COVID hit. Of course, things kind of stumbled, and then I was reached out to again to finally get my story in this publication, I just wrote about my experience and how I kept a positive mindset, because I think that's huge. When you're diagnosed with cancer, I was diagnosed. I thought I was healthy and perfect, and like I didn't have any issues, and then boom, you get hit with something that people don't really expect. It's just, it comes out of nowhere. But I didn't want to let that deter me from being me and persevering and getting through it. So keeping that positive mindset, I think, it helped me greatly. Of course, with health, trying to work out as much as I could, and then food as well, fasting and all that.
We also just spoke about that, exercise, eating healthy on a different point, but for everyone listening on, that is a major part of Juan's life. You heard a little bit about what he went through. Is there going to be another book coming from you, Juan? Because I know you're full of light, and I know you have a lot going on. He's a live streamer. His work is very important to him as well. What do you have going on?
Actually, we just had this conversation, man. It's funny that you bring it up. I was with a couple of friends, and we were just going through, my life story, because, I've been very I've been trying to get out of my shell a little bit more and kind of, and not be so closed in, and kind of my experiences as a teenager were pretty wild. Like I experienced some pretty crazy stuff. I wasn't the greatest kid in the world. I'd done a lot of things that I shouldn't have done, and gotten to the wrong crowd and all that. But I think, me being where I'm at now, I think if I can shed the light of, how I got here, and what it took for me to get here, it was a bunch of hard work. And, I went through college, through the recession, and still going through some things in life. Life happens. And I think I'm really thinking about writing a full book about just how it all began, and what the ups and downs were, because that's super important. Everybody sees mainly like on social media, they see all the good stuff you post, but we've been through some things. and that's what we were talking. I was explaining to them some things, and they were like, man, you should just write a book, because people need to hear this, because somebody could be going through similar situations. Getting kicked out. I got kicked out of high school for about 2 years. I came back, caught up. I was in drugs pretty heavily and stuff, and it just it's just one of those things that it's just the things that you experience through life, and that's who I am today. That's what made me today. So I think I'm going to start pushing on it on that book to kind of show what I really went through, and hopefully shed light on on the ups and downs, and to let people know you can get through it on the other end. And now I have a career. I'm a software engineer. You know, I've been to jail a couple times when I was a teenager. You know, I went to juvie and all that stuff. So, but you can do it. It can be done. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can have a successful life, even going through some of the stuff that I went through. So yeah, definitely, I'm taking the steps, man. It takes a little bit, you know, try to get all the thoughts down, and remembering everything, and how it was and how I remember it, and it's hopefully it's going to be a pretty good book.
It absolutely will be. We'll have to bring you right back on the show. And as you
Yeah.
can tell, he will also be on Vin's Story Share in the future. Another show I do for people to share their stories. Because as he said, the ups are great, but the downs are what help us help others. We all are going through some downs, and his story's already been so powerful today. But as far as advice on the writing side here, Juan, what's two pieces of advice you can offer our listeners who are
Um,
aspiring writers and current writers?
Yeah, well, for me, I mean, it's just, you know, keep it honest, and keep it, you know, as straightforward as you can. But also, you know, add those little negatives in there, you know, the downs that you go through. Um, eh, I really sat down and kind of had to really meditate, per se, in order for me to write this story, because I'm so conservative with my thoughts and stuff. But I think I put it out there in a manner that that really would help some people, and be like, oh man, this guy's speaking from his heart. Because, you know, that's what you want to do. You want to speak from your heart, I think, when you're writing. I mean, including with your book. I mean, you know, you laid it down, and the things that helped you get through some of the downs, and of what you went through. So you know, that keep it honest, and from the heart. That there's no other way, and people will feel that. That's the beauty of it. People feel that through your words. You know, you know, that's how people are like, wow, I really enjoyed this book. I really enjoyed your book, man. It was fantastic. And just the people that read my story, even like my brothers, and, you know, other people, they're like, dude, you know, I'm impressed, and, you know, thank you for sharing that, because that inspires people, when you do it from the heart, and with nothing but honesty.
Well, you inspire me every time we speak. That is for sure, Juan. I want to thank you so much for coming on. But for everybody that is watching, how can they say hello? Where can they find your book?
The book is on summitquest.org. It's Voices Over Cancer. You can also Google that. They're based out of Rome, Georgia. So if people just Google
You got the
Summit
book right
Quest.
there. You want to hold it up?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah,
Summit Quest right there, Voices Over Cancer. There's several stories, not just mine. You know, that's the beauty of this,
that's
is that
amazing.
you get 10 to 15 different people writing the story. There's also another interesting one there from a classmate that I went to high school with. She got diagnosed with breast cancer, and her story is very, very strong. She was actually able to, because of her age, right? You know, you can only get screenings at a certain age, and insurance will only cover so much stuff. She actually got a law. It's called Lacey's Law, to go through here in Georgia, that covers people at a lower age. So her story is actually very great, and I might even pass on that information to you to see if she wants to come on. Her story's in here as well.
Yeah, I'd love to have her.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
Mhm.
She's doing great. She's done a lot of great things, and, you know, I'm inspired by that as well. You know, that's kind of another reason why, you know, I'm doing these podcasts, and trying to get myself out there, man. Because there's a lot that you can do, and you just don't know that your impact. You know, it doesn't matter. You know, from my standpoint, it doesn't matter if it's just one person or two. You know, you're gonna
Absolutely.
impact somebody. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point. And hopefully you impact more people, you know, but one or two people, for me, I think is fantastic. And you know, that puts somebody over the little hump that they're going through, or whatever. You know, that's the big deal for me. But so summitquest.org, based out of Rome, Georgia. Definitely check them out. You can Google them. But they have various stories from 2019 to 2020.
Amazing episode, Juan. Amazing last word right there, too. I
Yeah.
want to thank you so much for your time, for coming back on this show.
Yeah,
You
no
were
problem.
awesome. And
Thank you very
for
much.
everyone that's viewing, thank you for supporting another episode. This show has been growing, and it's been great to catch up with people and amazing writers who have great pieces of work. Be sure to check out Voices Over Cancer. It's a great story with many stories in there. We may see Lacey's Law on this show. And with that, we will see you next week on Writing with Authors. Thank you again, Juan.
Thank you very much, Vincent.